Hi, everybody. It's Lee Milteer, and welcome to Authentic and Unapologetic. I'm delighted to be here today as my new podcast with you, and I'm going to share with you a little something that I've learned about myself that I think can help you. When I was a kid, I realized that my first true mentor in life was from a Star Wars movie. And it was all about mindset. So I want to share you what I learned that has really helped me become incredibly successful and deal with lots of challenges in life. But the first thing I want you to know about is that we're really going to talk about Jedi wisdom. Yes, Jedi wisdom. Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is about a science fiction thing, let me tell you something. Some of the deepest personal development lessons ever delivered to the modern culture were hidden inside the movie Star Wars. Now, because the real battle was never about space, it was about the human mind. And here's the truth most people never fully grasp. The great struggle in our life is not about our circumstances. It is not about our competition. It is not about your past. Here, it's the real battle happens between your ears. You see, mastery is always mental first. Always. If you want the next level of success, peace, wealth, influence, or fulfillment, you've got to learn how to direct your own thinking because your life will never outperform your mindset. And I mean never. Now, here's something most people don't want to hear at all. You are not stuck because of the lack of opportunity. You're not stuck because of undisciplined thinking. Because mental discipline is the entrance ticket to elite performance. And it's your job, whether you like it or not, to learn how to harness the power of your mind so you can intentionally become who you were meant to be. But first, here's the truth. You have to get out of your own way. You have to give mental permission to be exceptional. You literally have to give yourself mentally permission to be exceptional because most people never do. They shrink, they hesitate, they try. Now, that word alone keeps millions of people absolutely average. I'm going to try. So think about the movie. Back in 1977, you can find it today. The world met Luke Skywalker, a kid with doubts, fears, and no idea who he really was in the world. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, like most of us as kids. Now, he pulled into a battle between freedom and control, light and dark, and guided by Jedi Masters who understood something very profound. Power doesn't come from outside forces. It comes from alignment with something much deeper. The Force was never a mystical energy. It was simply awareness, presence, consciousness, connection. And every single one of us has access to it. So let's talk about the real teacher of the entire Star Wars series, Yoda. He was small, he was quiet, he was 900 years old, and absolutely ruthless about mindset. And his most famous line, we all know it, do or not. There is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. And people misunderstand this phrase all the time. Yoda wasn't saying failure isn't allowed. He was saying half commitment guarantees failure. So when you say I'll try, here's what you're really saying. I'm going to leave room to quit. Now, you don't realize you're saying that, but you are when you use the word try. Trying is an emotional insurance against disappointment, but success requires decision. Not interest, not intent, decision. Because once the mind commits, behavior follows. So Yoda tells Luke something most adults desperately need to hear almost every day. You must unlearn what you have learned. Why? Because many of our limitations are learned beliefs. They're old conditioning. They're other people's fears installed into our thinking. We see life through stories that we never consciously chose. And until you question these stories, you're always going to play small. Here's another brutal truth from Jedi training. Distraction destroys mastery. Yoda teaches Luke and says he's always looking towards the future. He's looking towards excitement and adventure instead of focusing in on what is actually in front of him. And honestly, doesn't that sound like modern life? Everyone is chasing the next thing. They're scrolling, they're comparing, they're waiting for someday. But here it is. Power only exists in one place. The current right now, in the present. Presence is performance. You cannot master your future if you're ignoring your present. And when it comes to one of the greatest mindset lessons ever delivered in the cinema, is that Luke watches Yoda lift an entire starship using the Force. And Luke says, "I don't believe it." And Yoda replies, "That is why you fail." So let that land for a moment. Skills matter, effort matters, but the belief determines access to both. The body cannot go where the mind refuses to go first. So let's talk about the dark side, because this is where things get real. Yoda says, fear is the path of the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. So look around today. Fear-driven decisions, fear-driven media, fear-driven conversations. Fear is profitable, but it is also incredibly destructive. In Eastern philosophy, suffering comes from attachment. Attachment to outcomes, attachment to control, attachment to being right, attachment to approval. The mightier you tightly cling to something, the more you're going to suffer. So Yoda delivers one of the hardest lessons of all. You must train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose. You see, that's not weakness. That's true freedom. So people often ask, how do you know when you're aligned with wisdom instead of ego? Yoda answered simply, you will know when you are calm. Calm is power. It's not loudness. It's not aggression. It's not emotional chaos. It's simply calm. Because when you're calm, you can see clearly. When you are reactive, you are controllable. A Jedi uses power for knowledge and defense, never for attack. And when Luke finally faces Darth Vader, he wins not through destruction, but actually, shockingly, through compassion, because true strength is self-control. So how do we apply Jedi wisdom in our life right now? It starts with this one radical idea. You do not have to believe every thought you think. Some thoughts are conditioning. Some are fear. Some are old programming. Yet, you get to choose which thoughts stay. So ask yourself these questions daily. Am I acting from fear or purpose? Am I giving my best or protecting my ego? Am I reacting or responding consciously? Because no matter what happens around you, you remain responsible for your own inner world. And science now confirms what ancient wisdom always taught. A calm mind heals the body. It reduces stress, it improves clarity, strengthening resilience. You see, peace isn't passive. Peace is strategic. Here is why this matters to me personally. Star Wars wasn't just entertainment. It wasn't just mythology. And my mythology teaches truth through story. Those characters are us. We are on the hero's journey. We daily face fear, temptation, failure, choice every single day of our life. The strength of the Jedi comes from self-awareness, discipline, and connection to something greater than the ego. And growth always begins with honest self-examination. So here's the invite. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop saying, I'll try. Simply decide, focus, become present. Choose calm over chaos. Choose courage over fear. Choose growth over comfort, because mastery always begins the moment you take responsibility of your mind. And when you do, you realize something powerful. The force was never outside of you. It was within you all along. And as always, may the force be with you. Thanks, folks. I have a gift for you. I hope you'll take up and go get right away. Type 5 types of energy, FIVE, 5typesofenergy.com. And I have the gift of 5 short 5-minute videos. They're on mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial energy. And this short video will change the way that you look at your power, your mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial power, because your energy is your lifetime currency. And you will find that this will give you a greater understanding of how you are creating in the world. So this is Lee Milteer. Don't let anything hold you back. The power is always with you. See you next time.